Thank you, Madam Chair, and congratulations and welcome, Secretary Buttigieg. I'm very grateful for your appointment. I want to start by saying a robust infrastructure bill needs to have bold investments in order to get our infrastructure to a state of good repair. This includes funding to fix our roads, bridges, schools, airports, increase broadband access, help with housing needs, and support transit and water infrastructure. Not only will this help the American people across the nation, but it can also be a jobs bill. If we do it right, this can help us recover from the economic shortfalls that resulted from this pandemic. This will be a win-win for the American people. While our committee does not have total jurisdiction over offsets, paying for this bill will include a number of financing options. One option that I think has a lot of merit and worthy of consideration is a national infrastructure bank. This is something I've worked on, and I have introduced a bill to establish a national infrastructure bank. As a matter of fact, my staff have shared it with your team. I also know that Representative DeLauro and others have worked for a long time on moving this same concept forward. I know you touched on this earlier, but can you please expand on the importance of establishing an infrastructure bank as an additional financing tool?
Well, thank you. And I want to applaud your initiative on ensuring that there are as many financing tools as possible to make sure we're mobilizing all the resources we can for that bold infrastructure vision that we share. The idea of a national infrastructure bank has, I think, been through many different proposals or versions in terms of what's been discussed in public. And I know that you and others have put more specific legislative shape to it. I think you'll find the administration has a very open mind about the kinds of concepts that exist for creating more of that financial leverage. Of course, we have within the department the Build America Bureau that has instruments like TIFIA and RIF and that private activity bond mechanism I mentioned earlier that I think can be a great starting point. But the ambition of what you're describing, I think, goes to another level, and would love to explore ways that we could be doing things above and beyond what we've had in the past when it comes to mobilizing those kinds of resources.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Last week, we heard from business leaders who made the case that tackling climate change and growing our economy go hand in hand. H.R. 2, the Moving Forward Act, and I and my colleagues on this committee helped write under the leadership of Chairman DeFazio, included several provisions to build our infrastructure for the 21st century that includes electric charging stations and hydrogen fueling infrastructure. Can you delve further on what some of the administration's priorities are in terms of tackling climate change and how electric charging stations and hydrogen fueling infrastructure can be part of the solution?
Well, when it comes to incentivizing Americans to adopt electric vehicles, we know that one of the biggest reasons somebody would think twice before acquiring one is wondering whether it's got enough range to get them where they need to be. That's why the president committed to a major expansion of electric vehicle charging stations in the U.S., and it's very much part of our emerging infrastructure vision. Hydrogen fuel cells also hold great promise as a zero-emissions fuel source, though they haven't been adopted yet as widely and are not as likely as of today to be manufactured in the U.S. But again, there's a lot of promise and potential there. We view that as going hand in hand with the ongoing process of reducing the cost of these, because that in turn takes away the other main reason people would hesitate to switch, which is that it simply might cost more than traditional fuel. Again, that's changing too, but we need all of these things to happen at once. That's just the vehicle side. More broadly across surfaces, it's making sure that people have different alternatives, enhancing access to transit and transit-oriented development, and decarbonizing the maritime and aviation sectors as well. All of that has to happen at the same time if we're going to meet our goals, which, of course, failure is not an option when it comes to those goals.
Thank you. And lastly, we know that recently, the recent enacted Pipes Act of 2020 modified the Unusually Sensitive Areas USA mandate for the 2016 Act, which should give PIMSA what it needs to finish this outstanding rulemaking. Additionally, the bill included a provision requiring a study on the installation of automatic and remote controlled valves on existing pipelines located in sensitive areas. like the USA's commercially navigable waters or high consequence areas. Pipeline safety measures are important to coastal districts like mine, where we've seen multiple oil spills, the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill and the 2015 Plains All-American spill. Can I get your commitment to press forward to finalizing these pipeline safety measures once and for all and get them over the finish line?
Yes, we want to make sure that we are following through on all of these pieces, and appreciate the support from Congress to build up the resources in the Pipeline and Hazardous Material Safety Administration so that we can meet that congressional goal.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I yield back.